Imagine Jupiter at night, presented on the internet, so very live. Our audience is watching now, and they are live. So Jupiter at night.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Jupiter. My name is Chris.
I'm Alan.
I'm Jeremy.
Dudes, I got to give you a warning right up front at the top of the show. I'm off my game today.
What?
Say what?
Well, I'm jacked up on ibuprofen
Well, your hair
to begin
looks
with.
beautiful.
You know, I'm even having some hair technicalities today, but don't get me started on that.
Never.
Thanks.
Maybe we can brighten your day a little bit, Christopher.
All right, J-Man, what do you got for me?
Well, you know, we like video games, right?
Yes,
Is that a consensus?
I do.
Among this
I'm
panel?
kind of a fan.
I do.
Okay, well, today started GDC, the Game
That's
Developers
true.
Conference.
Yeah, the 25th,
25th
anniversary, dude.
Which, honestly, like, that's awesome, but it's never been, like, a huge, like, oh, my God, the GDC.
You know, GDC actually started in a guy's living room, literally.
Now, see, that's awesome.
It wasn't even one of those things where they, like, rented a small
No kidding.
banquet hall
Was it
or
at least
something.
a big living room?
I don't know.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what else? Actually, hold on. I don't mean to put the show on pause. Can I just say I'm glad to have everybody back in studio?
Yeah, it's been
Right?
a while since the three of us have
Welcome
been here.
back. Before we go further, though, I want to give folks a warning that the J-Man might be taking some time. Well, you will be taking some time off.
Yeah.
Because you're,
I've been cast in a musical
Yeah,
at
it's
the
not really
local
time off.
community theater, actually at a local college, doing
Yeah.
a musical.
when's the big show?
April 1st through the 3rd. It's
Oh,
for real,
dude,
though.
I might be able to make
It's
that.
not April Fools.
Oh, yeah. Haha.
So, yeah, some
the
rehearsals. It's called The Fantastics. It's the longest running musical on Broadway.
Oh, that one.
Go look it up.
The Fantastics.
Yeah, Fantastics, exactly.
I've
And
only seen it in crossword puzzles.
Of course.
I have no idea what it's about.
that
It does have a
means-
K.
That means there's going to be rehearsal time.
Right,
So that means the J-Man's going to miss a few episodes.
right.
But we got a plan. We got plans. And, you know, in fact, we've got a fun idea coming up for later in the week that we'll share in a bit. But why don't we jump back into GDC?
Games.
I'm sorry for the interruption. I'm sorry.
Games, Chris.
You know, I think we're just going to obviously handle the stuff that happened on today.
Yeah, it's
because
just a launch day.
our prognostication machines aren't working 100%, so we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow and Thursday. But, you know, we do a live call-in thing after Thursday shows, so if there's anything really cool that happens, feel free to call in and talk about
Yeah.
that if we don't
Yeah.
talk about it today.
Yeah, that's
I
getting
will
fun.
be interested.
One thing I want to talk about that came out, so today is the first day of GDC, and there's already been kind of a rather epic story, and I don't think of gaming when I think of Google, but the story comes from Google. Check this out.
Google just always wants you to think of them.
GDC, well,
That's the
that's
thing.
you got that right.
That is the
GDC
thing.
2011, and you would think of them too. They surprised attendance with little blue cards, and these little blue cards, you go to Google's area, and you get there, and you're like, geez, there's a heck of a line here. Anyways, you wait in line, and when you turn in your blue card, you get one of their Chrome laptops, their CR48 beta machines, and you also are presented with the option of a Motorola Zoom or a Nexus S.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, that's new. That was
Like instead of, or just if you wanted to.
I don't know if it was instead of,
Whoa.
because this just came out. This update was just posted, but they're at least offered that. I mean, I would totally take a Zoom. That would be fantastic.
Yes, it would.
So, and I guess, you know, the GDC is really,
That's everyone?
yeah, well,
everybody that goes to their panels, I think,
It's-
was what it was.
GDC is the Game Developers Conference,
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so the intended audience is game developers who want to network and get exposure to technology.
awesome.
So Google's like, yeah, take our products, make some games. We
Exactly.
need games, and they need games.
Yes,
Um,
especially for that
oh.
the Chrome OS.
Now, of course, everybody has Angry Birds, including Android.
I don't think you can really talk
I
about
don't-
games anymore without talking about Angry Birds.
I got rid of it. It was boring.
Wow.
really.
I just couldn't get into
Oh,
it.
bird hate.
Wow.
I'm not,
But
yeah.
it has a good theme song, though, right?
It does have a
Oh,
good
yeah.
theme song.
You know, the
Bark, bark,
noises,
bark,
it's cute. I
bark,
like
bark,
the
bark.
animation. I really thought I could get into it. Maybe I just didn't give it enough chance. Maybe it ran bad on my phone. I just didn't like it.
Well, here's an
Just
interesting
wasn't for
thing,
me.
and of course you would think by now a game as big as Angry Birds. I mean, it's huge. It's on every platform. That most of the controversies would be figured out. But This is pretty interesting, Jamie. I want you to lay the details on us during the conference.
Well,
today.
the Angry Birds uses an open source physics engine.
I didn't actually know that until this article.
Yeah. So not everything in the game is made by the company that created, but they're using open source technology, so they're free to do it.
Yeah.
Obviously. In fact, the open source physics engine that they're using doesn't even require you to tell anybody that you're using it.
Oh, okay.
That's nice.
Yeah. So within their documentation, it's basically just have it.
Gotcha.
But it's become such a big thing that at this conference that Angry Birds was having, they were talking about their upcoming plans to put it on PCs and Macs and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody stood up at the end of the Q&A and asked what physics engine they used. And the guy was like, we used, what's it called there?
Box 2D.
Box 2D. And the guy said, I wrote that. How would you feel about putting my name in your credits?
Yeah. So here's the exact quote. He says, "What physics engine?" And the
Showed up.
Yeah, he just showed up.
And
Nice. I love that stuff.
Peter Vestabaca, he's one of the head honchos over at Rovio. He's answered, "Yeah, we use Box 2D." And he said, the guy responds, "Would you be willing to credit it?" This is just he hasn't told him he's the maker yet.
Oh,
he
right,
says,
right.
"Would you be willing to credit it?" And the big honcho over at Rovio answers, "Yes." He says, "I'm the creator of Box 2D." And then later on, he said, "Okay, well, we'll credit you, but come talk to me after the conference," which probably means sign these massive disclosures. Yeah.
Come in this back room.
Apparently, he was met with just a round of applause for laying that on him.
That's pretty
kind
cool.
Of clever, and it's the kind of thing you don't see
It's innocent.
It's the kind of thing you don't see at your average gamer convention, where the people in the audience are just people that enjoy your products. But
and they're developers themselves, a lot of them.
Yeah, at GDC especially.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
But that's also the best place to do it, because if they said go screw yourself or don't do it,
then every other developer
they're
would
gonna
know.
look so bad.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well,
they're
and
gonna look
really,
horrible. They're
I mean,
forced to do it now.
You cannot
They have
deny
to.
that physics engine is a huge part of the game.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't exist without
yeah,
it.
definitely.
So they've built that game on top of his technology.
They even said you don't even gotta know, man.
Totally. But there's also just being a good
So
human.
that guy's like, hey, come on.
I mean,
Would you be willing to? All he wants is credit.
I honestly was surprised he just answered what it was. You could tell they've thought about it, because a lot of times they'd be like, "Oh, we don't discuss that,"
or I'm not really sure. I'll have to check with my tech guy.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
That's kind of the answer you'd expect.
Yeah.
Now, something that has been getting a lot of attention again after a ton of attention earlier, actually, I guess last year was Minecraft.
It's almost a whole year now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Since it kind of blew up.
But we've got a Minecraft server at mc.jupitercolony.com. You just plug that right into Minecraft, and
It's public.
we've got a pretty cool little public server. And I've noticed the interest seems to be ticking back up again.
Well, it's started to get more interest because Mojang, the company that created it, is becoming a company.
Yeah.
When Minecraft first came out, it was a one-person operation, but Mojang now has a staff of like 20 people.
That's incredible.
And they're working on multiple projects. In fact, just today, they finally officially announced their next project, which is a game called Scrolls.
Scrolls.
Yeah.
And this is what I've been told is it's all funded by him and the money that he's made off of Minecraft.
No.
He's not
Well,
doing
recently,
any publishers. It's all his money.
I don't know if we've covered this on the shows yet, but Minecraft did top the 1 million mark of the number of copies that have been sold. And it's a beta still, people. Remember
and
that.
That's at least like $15 per copy.
Yep.
So any details on Scrolls?
It sounds like there's a quote in the article that's in our show notes here, and it sounds a little bit like a puzzle strategy head-to-head.
Offers a new, unique gameplay where you fight to outmaneuver your opponent on the battlefield. A chess-style game board using destructive powers in your collection of magical scroll cards.
Right.
So Scrolls is a reference to those magical... Oh, yeah, as in the logo there.
And I don't know if it's 3D. We don't have any game shots or anything like that. But, if it's by Mojang, I can count on it being at least a little innovative and probably fun.
A limited free alpha will be available later this year, offered initially to some of the Minecraft alpha purchasers.
Why not? Why some? Why not all alpha purchasers?
That lot. I bet it's going to have
probably too many.
I bet it's going to have some sort of online server component too. And when you do that, you want to do a slow rollout so that we don't overwhelm your stuff.
Because then nobody
then
can't
I'm
even
not
play
gonna
your
get an
game.
Invite. I was way too late on that train.
He's also been getting some awards though, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they've gotten the awards yet, but it was nominated for three awards at the Indie Game Fest, which is happening at the same place and same time as GDC.
Nice.
That's in the bag. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I forget the name of the other one, but it's a pretty well-known indie title.
The Amnesia.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. No, that's gotten a lot of.
It's funny you forgot Amnesia.
Yeah. People have said a lot of good things about it, but
I like being unintentional
The other
funny.
thing is that Minecraft isn't really a game.
No, not.
It's
not
a-
really.
it's
It's
a-
like a simulation, like a.
It's just like an editor.
It's a creation station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
it's-
he's
it's a
actually
crafting
mentioned
thing.
Yeah.
recently. Notch has follow Notch on Twitter if you're interested in. But I've got a link to that in our show notes as well. He's been talking about using an achievement type system to give Minecraft a narrative.
Oh
So
no, I've heard all. I mean, it sounds.
He's also confirmed via Twitter that you'll have pet dogs in Minecraft.
beds are coming
I won't
soon.
do that. I want to build like the enterprise and stuff.
right. Well, if you don't
Like, I'm
want to
not-
do
I'm
the
not gonna
achievements,
do
then
that,
you can
but-
probably ignore them.
All right, we got to move on.
Yeah.
This
All right,
isn't the
all right,
Minecraft show.
Sorry.
Because this next story, I think you're going to have an interesting take on there, Alan. Valve and makers of Steam.
I like Valve.
Yeah, and I like Steam.
I like Steam.
They've made a lot of moves recently, and they kind of touted a lot of that at GDC today about getting on the Mac and getting on the PlayStation 3 or in some capacity.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. And so they said, well, our next step is we want to bridge the gap to console players who are playing on the PC. And it sounds like we don't really have much in the way of details yet because there just hasn't been any video posted
Yeah,
yet
I
or
haven't seen
anything.
any tech demos or anything like that.
But
All
it
we
sounds
have
like
is
a
words.
like a full screen UI redesign for Steam, so you can interact with all of the Steam catalog and your games with your controller.
yeah.
Like my Xbox 360
Right,
controller,
Right.
perhaps.
Yeah, exactly.
So quite a few people actually use their Xbox 360 controller on their PCs.
Yeah, well,
especially if
I do
you're
it to play
getting,
Champions. When we were playing Champions the other
Yeah.
day, I played on the keyboard.
It was tough.
And I was so
and more
lost.
and more games these days, especially if they're available on multiple platforms, are pre-packaging themselves with that really easy plug and play for the controllers.
Right.
And it's
Um, so now they're making it so that the actual interface to load the games, to buy the games, to hook up with your friends, all of that stuff that's doable through Steam is now going to be easily controlled.
Now, see, that stuff I don't mind. Like when I'm going through the menus and Champions and stuff, I use my mouse. That's when I pick up the mouse.
Most
and
people
stuff.
do, but the idea here is that they're trying to separate the Steam experience from being kind of anchored to the
That could
mouse
be your
and keyboard.
console.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, just like
They
it's
actually
like
talk
browsing
about-
Xbox Live probably or the PlayStation Marketplace on the
Exactly.
controller. Yeah.
It's kind of starting to sound a little Xbox Live-y.
Yeah, totally. I totally
And
see
they
that.
talk a lot in their press releases about actually putting
Well,
this on televisions and not PCs.
Look what Steam has. Steam has
cool.
a social network integration that works pretty great for linking up. They got a fantastic store. They've got
they have their own achievement system, just like Xbox.
they've got
Live.
a lot of the Xbox Live components. I don't know if they offer a voice chat system.
They
but
do.
Okay,
They do.
it makes
it's
sense.
not very good.
And you said there was some sort of murmur that at best it sounded like maybe there was some talk of some sort of extender technology.
Yeah, well, they talk so much about getting this on your television that I'm almost thinking that they might be working with some sort of a I don't even know what to call it,
Be
but
interesting-
something that would get your PC to play on your television.
Well, wouldn't it be interesting if they could do like a little local mini version of OnLive? Like take the OnLive experience, how they have, and take it
Like
on
a Steam box.
why couldn't you run? You'd have to have a really nice rig, but maybe like a Steam
I'd like to
server client that just
put
streams it
this
to a
on the
micro
line right
console.
now that I would buy a Steam box. I would.
Depending
Oh,
on
yeah.
the price, I will.
Oh yeah.
As long as it could port
I'm
over
saying-
all of my PC titles that I already have in my library.
I'm saying they turn. I'm saying they take you take the micro console, okay,
yeah.
and it just connects to your machine and it streams from your machine.
Yeah.
It makes your machine essentially your own server, and you just stream to your PC with that, or from your TV.
As long as there's no lag or frame rate loss,
Right,
I'd
right,
be
yeah.
down.
I hadn't even thought of that. So, yeah, I'm going to be watching this closely
So
to
this
see
is-
if there are any further demonstrations or
I
technical
think
details.
this is a story that we might cover on the Thursday post show because I think this one's going to kind of evolve a little further.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I thought our last story for the night would kind of be one that maybe is slightly tongue-in-cheek. I'm not exactly sure what their approach is here.
There is no
I have no
approach.
idea what this is about, so I'm
So
excited.
some of you may have heard about the indie game called Magica. I
Yeah.
played it on the post show a couple times here.
I've heard of that. Maybe it's from you.
It's like an isometric. It looks a little Diablo-y, but the control thing is like basically
Yep.
you use a different combination of magic to make different spells.
Yeah.
There is also friendly fire in multiplayer, which makes multiplayer matches
More
either
challenging.
extremely frustrating or just hilarious mayhem. But now the makers of Magica are coming out with a full new expansion pack that's a
Yeah.
whole second campaign for the Magica game called, are you ready for this? Magica Vietnam.
But isn't it set back?
Well, this
Doesn't
one's
matter,
set.
man.
This one.
It doesn't matter anymore.
This one is set in Vietnam, and it's
helicopters and machine guns.
So is this a mod or just something that...
it's an expansion. It's
an
it's
official
coming from them.
expansion.
So they're just like, screw it, we're not doing magic on this one. We're doing
No,
army.
it's still you're still a wizard. You've still got a bathrobe. You've
Oh,
still got
but you're just
staffs, and you've
fighting
still
in
got
Nam.
spells.
Yeah.
So you're the same. It's just your surroundings are different.
Yes.
Like you teleported to Nam.
Yeah.
Right. And,
Damn.
they've completely jumped the shark on this. I don't think
I'm
there's
not
any doubting on that. But I think they did it in such a hilarious, over-the-top way. It's probably going to be just as much fun as the original.
Is it
What do you
okay,
mean
though?
they jumped the shark?
No, that's not like a great time period. You know what I mean?
No. But, they could have gone worse. They could have called it Magica Bosnia or Magica Libya.
Well,
or
I'm
Magica
wondering-
Well, see,
Egypt.
that's the thing is you do anything current, you're going to get in trouble. Vietnam, like who cares?
Well,
like, it's been
but
done.
so what happens in 20 years? Aren't we going to get Magica Iraq and Magica Afghanistan?
Sure.
I don't want that.
Why not?
But they might do like Magica.
Because
Disney
enough people have made
Island
money off
gone
these wars
wrong.
as it is, in my opinion. I don't want game companies making money off war too, but whatever. I guess if it's good, I mean, I like Call of Duty. I mean, so what are you gonna,
Yeah, dude, no.
I don't think that too much
It's not making money
seriousness
off
can be
war.
taken.
You know what it is? You know
it's
what it
making
is.
money off of a story.
Yeah, okay.
Like either way,
right.
war or
I
not.
don't even know if it's that. I
Modern
think it's just,
Warfare's never happened. That's a story right there.
I don't even know if it's that.
It's
I
not
get the
even a
feeling it's more
story.
like the developers wanted to put machine guns and bombs in their game and just did it this way.
I think
That's
it's
the
great 'cause
impression I
it's
get.
totally not. No one expected this.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. That's for
If
sure.
you even thought of them doing an expansion, you wouldn't be like, oh, well, they're gonna do Vietnam. It's the logical thing, you know.
No, yeah.
Next step.
Maybe they should have done World War II because then you could totally have Nazis.
Yeah,
Everybody
I
loves
like
Nazis.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like. I like to kill Nazis in video games.
Well,
it's
all right.
always fun.
Now, I want to mention a couple of things because we're running long here. And before we wrap, I want to let the Stoked fans out there know that this Saturday we're going to be live. It's going to be the finale of this weekly episode arc that Star Trek Online's been doing.
This big Romulan epic.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. And this is the finale of that arc, and we'll be streaming it live right over at jupiterbroadcasting.com/live at 11 a.m. Pacific on Saturday.
And again, I want to remind folks that if there's more GDC stuff that comes up during the week, call us after the Thursday show. We'd love to talk about it.
Yeah.
And in
Now-
the meantime, if you need to know where to go to watch the GDC news that's coming out, show notes.
Show notes.
Show
Yeah, we've got
notes.
stuff in there from IGN that's doing some good coverage, Joystick, and even
Don't
G4
tell
TV.
'em.
The links are all in
Look in the show notes.
Now, some folks in the
Chris
chat room
is
were asking
wrong.
if we saw anything about Half-Life 2. Nothing.
there. Nothing yet.
And keep in mind that anything
think we will,
that
but-
doesn't get announced at GDC, PAX East is next week.
I know.
So it's very well that they could be waiting for a different crowd
Yeah.
to announce it.
And PAX East is getting big, so that could definitely happen.
Yeah.
Two last things I have, just a couple of orders of business that I wanted to mention to people. We probably only have about 20% of our audience still watching, but I kid.
But at
For
least
those
they
of you
know.
out there,
Actually, our retention rates have actually gone up quite a bit.
Well, they did
Well
until you
done,
said
Chris.
that.
Yeah, I know, right?
come on, get to it. Come on.
So the first order of business is Thursday. We're thinking about doing our first Jupiter at Night game show episode. And we don't know exactly what to do yet because we have some limitations because, it's live and we don't have a lot of special effects we can use. We want to come up with something fun. I've got a few ideas, but I would love to hear yours. So leave us a comment if you have an idea of a game show maybe we could incorporate and things like that. The last order of business I have is, tomorrow is Wednesday. And it'll be the release of the iPad 2, undoubtedly.
Ooh.
And I wanted to get your opinion as the audience. Do you want us to cover it? It's going to be tomorrow's biggest story, unquestionably.
Because it's Apple.
It's the iPad 2, and it's it's the hottest gadget. I
Unless something amazing comes out of GDC, but
doubt
That's
it'll
doubtful.
outshine the iPad 2.
yeah.
Unless I won't say that. But if people, I'd like to hear your opinions on if we should cover that. I could give you my perspective on it. We do have 2 iPads in my house, so.
Mhm.
There's that to consider too, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd like
And
to hear your
another
comments on that
tablet.
as well. So let us know, and what people say. Your feedback will impact tomorrow's show. Which way we go with that? All right.
You're
Sounds
a part
good.
of the show, people.
There you have it. Okay, and of course comments or hit me up on Twitter. I'm Chris LAS, whichever route you'd like to take to let us know. Okay. Well,
Okay.
that wraps up this epic size episode of Jupiter at Night, and we'll be live tomorrow at 8 p.m. Pacific over at jblive.tv, or grab the download version in the evening tomorrow night. And until then, have a great evening.